The John Dirks Canada Global Health Award is the newest award in the Gairdner pantheon, but it's quickly become one of the most renowned prizes in the world, if not the most renowned prize in the world, recognizing contributions to research with major impact on health in the developing world. And the prize really was the vision of John Dirks, our President Emeritus, and it now bears his name. So Vikram Patel is this year's 2019 John Dirks Canada Gairdner Global Health Awardee. He's the Pershing Square Professor of Global Health and Wellcome Trust Principal Research Fellow, Harvard Medical School. He's an honorary professor at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, an adjunct professor at the Public Health Foundation of India in New Delhi, and co-founder of Sangath, India. And he's awarded for his world-leading research in global mental health, generating knowledge on the burden and determinants of mental health problems in low and middle income countries and pioneering approaches for the prevention and treatment of mental health in low resource settings. And as we had a beautiful symposium yesterday talking about the kind of impact of his interventions in low resource settings, and we see how what is important globally is also important locally. There are many things we can all learn about issues of access to mental health treatment that's such a big issue in our country as well. So, Dr. Patel, please join us on stage. His music is Mas Kalanda by Mika Singh and Yo-Yo Honey Singh.
Yo-Yo Honey Kalandar, Damada Mast Kalandar, Alida Pehla Number, Damada Mast Kalandar, Sakisha Baz Kalandar, Ho Lal Meri Pat, Rakhiyo Bala Jhule Lalane, Lal Meri Pat, Rakhiyo Bala Jhule Lalane, Sindhdi Da, Sevd Da, Sakisha Baz Kalandar.
John, you were right. This was the most stressful phase of my whole scientific career. But I have to say, when I heard Ron's song, some of you may wonder what the translation of this incredible Sufi tune is. It's I feel good. And it is exactly that. Must means feeling very good, and that's exactly how I feel. So thank you very much to the Gairdner Foundation for many reasons. First of all, you sealed my love affair with Canada that began when I first tasted poutine. It's confirmed. This is a very sexy country. But I think I also am very grateful because as we've just seen over the last 6 presenters, the last 6 awardees, it is so important for science to feel glamorous. It happens very rarely, I have to tell you, and I know I speak on behalf of everyone who is on the stage here. We've all been kidding each other, standing at the back and saying, is this for real? I did worry about the dinosaur motif, though, but I'm assuming that's just accidental. You couldn't move them out. But I'm also very grateful because even though this is the last award, it is so important for us to recognize the importance not only of discovery, but also of delivery. That it is a science to figure out how we take knowledge that is generated in the laboratory and make it available to people in the real world. Molecules, cells, and genes excite me greatly, but people and the worlds that we live in excite me even more. And so I want to thank you for recognizing global health, whose mission is primarily to reduce health disparities in all parts of the world, not just in developing countries, one of the awards that you give out each year. I'm also especially grateful that for the first time in the list of awards, you recognize what I consider perhaps the most neglected of global health issues, but also perhaps the one global health issue which is quintessentially global, because every country is developing when it comes to mental health. Let's be honest, who could have ever imagined, I certainly couldn't have when I started my work 2.5 decades ago, that working in the area of mental health would land me up here on the stage at the Royal Ontario Museum. I certainly didn't think working in mental health was getting me any prizes. This was not glamorous business. But in recognizing my work, I think this award recognizes the tireless efforts of hard-working innovators and researchers in some of the least resourced parts of the world, including right here in Canada, as we heard, where inequalities in access to mental health care, especially for the Indigenous peoples of this country, are also very significant public health challenges. And I believe that this science really places the rights of people to receive care, to live a life with dignity, to be protected from the harms that we know can affect their health, as important as the discoveries that we might make in the laboratory. In particular, for me, this prize is a recognition of the tireless efforts of so many ordinary people in the world who care for people with mental health problems in their families, or for people who work in our programs as community health workers, peers, teachers, and others who are willing to be trained to deliver care for people affected by mental health problems. It is really a prize for them all, and I bow my head in respect to them. In the end, I need to acknowledge that most of these caregivers are, of course, women. And it is women who do change the world and have certainly changed my own world. I would like to acknowledge two particular women who have made a very significant contribution to where I am here today. The first is my mother, and I know she is looking down from the heavens above, who showered me with unconditional love, and like I think every man in this room will remember, is the kind of love that is very unique, very special, and I know she would be incredibly proud of me today. And the second woman is my wife, Gauri, who is sitting here, who has worked with me, but most importantly has tolerated me for 30 long years. And I think particularly tolerated me when I was so completely engrossed in my own work that I forgot that she was around, and also my son Farai, who's also here, who the only regret I have in all my work in science is that I didn't spend as much time as I wish I had when you were much younger. Thank you to both of you. I also want to acknowledge my family and friends who are here, and Gauri's mother, Smita. Thank you for making this enormous trip from India to be with us today. Thank you all very much.
मेरी रात भी तू, मेरी रूह भी तू, मेरी जात भी तू, मैं तो दूर भी तू, मेरे साथ भी तू, मैं सका फिर भी औकात भी तू।